Hello and welcome to Alex Attempts Tabletop. Today we're going to look at something different compared to the great world of Warhammer. We're going to look at some Warlord stuff and we're going to actually look at bolt action. I'm getting started in bolt action, so this is going to kind of be a new video short series of me getting involved in bolt action. So if you're new to bolt action, this could maybe help you out also, so check it out I guess. So before we begin, I'm doing British Expedition Force, so early war bolt action, so I'm gathering 1939 to 41, mainly because that kind of era interests me. Like the whole late war and that is interesting, but the early war I find has some of the coolest stuff. There's my phone just going off while I record. Oh well. So you've got the Blitzkrieg and all the early conflicts, and also I kind of prefer the early technology, so before they get more improved gear. I like the kind of more old school tanks and uniform and stuff, so that's why I was I'm gonna do early war British, because apparently not everyone does that. Everyone's always kind of late war. And also I was watching a bunch of documentaries recently, and I watched the film Dunkirk, which is good. It's a bit Hollywood, but it's a good film nonetheless, and I was there I'll do the BEF, and especially that I got a big force, essentially kind of British Expedition Force for was that £30 for a bunch of models. So now we're gonna have a look, and it's gonna kind of explain why I did them, because it's just really good value to get started on. So let's go.
Hello again. So originally I recorded this morning on OBS instead of my photo booth, experimenting stuff, and essentially it made it into a VLC file, and then every time I tried to convert it into MP4 it would crash. So I'm now re-recording again in the evening to get this video up tonight hopefully. So you're welcome, be grateful. I tried. There's the Psychoness done. Unfortunately the excitement of me actually opening stuff has been lost, but I will try to reenact the excitement and pretend it's the first time. So let's pretend I just shook all this out. Wow, look at the mess. First off, it's really cool that the models come in a kind of ammunition tin. Urgent troops for the front. Pretty neat, bit of a touch, I like it. Also, before we continue, shout out to Ronnie. Packed the stuff for me, that's pretty cool. I like how it's just ask stuff. It's a nice little touch, you know. So essentially when I was getting the British Expedition Force, what I also got, I got the early war paint set. So as you can see here, got a bunch of them here. I'm not going to name them all because I'm a noob and I'm more of a Citadel paint person, but I'm excited to use these paints, you know. And as you can see here, there's a big mess on the table, so I do apologise. We've got the bases, as you can see, so I'll have to tidy this all up again. So yeah, please bear with. Big base for, I'm assuming the mortar, or yeah, I think it's for the mortar. But I'll move everything aside and I'll edit some photos on top as well while we talk, something like that. So essentially, to get things started, I got the early war British Expedition starter set. It was £30. It was very good value, and yeah, I recommend it. Sorry, is my camera working? I think it's working, sorry. There we go, I've moved the light in a bit more. And these models are lovely. For metal minis, they're so nice and detailed, you know? Yeah, I've got to do a bit of cleaning, sorting them out. So I got basically 10 troops, I believe. Then I got a mortar, I got an anti-tank gun, and then I got a Lewis gun. And then I had an officer, an injured person, some other stuff. So the downside with metals, I will say from the off start, you do then get a situation of bendy looking guns, but I'm sure once I straighten it out, tidy it all up, these things take time. But I have painted metal in the past, but I didn't realise actually how much detail metal can actually have. So that's pretty cool. And these are, I'm assuming, are older sculpts from Warlord, because now they do more of the plastic range. I nearly did start an army which was purely plastic just to make my life easier, but I really like the early war because it's kind of before it goes all complete tits up and it's chaos everywhere. I'm not saying I'm a fan of no one stopping, the Germans just steamrolling everyone that first. I'm there oh, I feel like the good old times. But I just prefer the basic advancement in warfare when it wasn't all over the top. If that makes sense, hopefully it does. I just kind of like the rifles, some of the machine guns, some of the early war tank. I think basically instead of all those 20 seconds of rambling, I could have just said I like the aesthetic. There we go. I won't cut the rambling out because that's effort, but you get my excitement. So here's a guy. He literally is kind of crouching, and I'm really excited to paint all this. Like, it's going to be good fun. It'll be good for the channel. Hopefully get some Warhammer 40k people kind of learn and something different for them. And also I may attract a new crowd of people who can share their knowledge. So if you're like really avid into history and bolt action, share me your knowledge because I'm a noob and I would love to know it all. So yeah, fixed bayonets and that here, as you can see, a bit of metal sprue and stuff. I tidy all that up. As well, and upload a picture of some things I have painted in the past. I've painted some of these, but it was for Very British Civil War, and they were painted as royalists, and that was like a few years ago. So my painting for this should be better. I'm expecting me to paint better. Is cool. This is cool. I'm gathering he's feeding ammunition into the machine gun. As well, I was very grateful that the heads weren't too warped. I was really worried because I have had in the past where loads of the faces are like to like burn victims essentially. I know it's not very nice to describe people like that, but they looked awful, you know, they just looked really bad and warped. So here you can see the faces. They've actually turned out really well. And P.S. sorry if I've offended anyone who's a burn victim. I didn't mean to compare you to a metal miniature sculpting manufacturer disaster. I should kind of wipe that bit out also, but I can't be bothered. I'm sure my small channel will survive some controversy. There you go. But the faces are pretty good. I'm well happy. I was worried they're going to turn out awful, but they turned out well for metal. So I'm going to order some better super glue because I have some, but it hasn't been working that well. So if you have any idea what would be really good super glue for the metal minis, is Gorilla Glue pretty good? If so, I may give that stuff a go. Like, I'll go on the Amazon and order it. So here's the guy sitting down. He's clearly going to be for the machine gun. That's not him. So I'm gathering like he may go like that or something. Those two. And then where did he let it go? Well, there's his top half. Something like that, I'm assuming. I'll just look at the pictures on the internet and figure out that way, you know. Here's a guy here. He looks like he's got an ammunition crate. So I'm gathering that this lot will go on this big base. I haven't actually thought of what I'm going to do for the bases yet because I mainly have just Citadel stuff. But now looking at the Citadel stuff, I don't know if it'll picture the nice Warlord aesthetic I've seen with loads of Warlord miniatures. So I may have to get some turfs and actually do some old school kind of just gravel base and then do some flowers and flocks to make it look a bit more countryside World War II instead of a bit out there Warhammer stuff. And here's a mortar guy. So yeah, this is me just like kind of showing off the stuff from this set. It's really good value, like £30 for all this. I'm really chuffed. Like, what would that get you? Like 5 Space Marines. So my plan is to get this British Expedition Force up to 500 points. That's the plan. So I probably want to sneak in a tank if possible. So if you've got advice on what loadouts to take, what tank I should take, I don't want it to be like competitive or over the top, just something nice and thematic. I'm theming this kind of around, well, British Expedition Force, so like in France, Dunkirk, Belgium and all that jazz. If I do get these done very nicely, then probably what I will then end up doing is like maybe 500 points of Blitzkrieg early war Germans, because once again, I like the aesthetic of early war. Have fun at 500 points of these, 500 points of the other guys. It's the AKA easy, good guys versus bad guys. That's the whole type of vibe. If we're going to do it like that, like Hollywood. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's me just kind of rambling. I gotta admit, this video has probably lost some of its coherency compared to the original video in the day, but that's completely gone now. I can't help that, so we're working with this. Also, I'm all very new to historic, so those people often watch history videos and that. If you want to give me advice on how you would like me to improve the historical stuff, because I'm assuming the 40k Warhammer Games Workshop content will vary for a different type of audience compared to this historical stuff. So I'm not trying to cater for both kind of bases, but I'm just getting involved in this now as well as 40k because I'm getting greedy. I want to do a bit of everything because it's fun. And there's something different about doing smaller miniatures and something which is actually historical and real. It just tickles and ticks a different box, you know? So yeah, that's that. I'm going to kind of end the video here. I'm not going to have a face over. Thank you for watching. Advice, comments, feedback is welcome on historical stuff. If you enjoyed it and you're new and all that, maybe think about, I don't know, liking, subscribing, whatever, leave a comment. As well, down below, info to all my other social medias like the Twitches and stuff. So yeah, hopefully see some of you soon with a 40k update or a historical update. So see you soon. Goodbye. Have a good time. Thank you.